Hello guys, welcome to our channel once again. So today is another day to talk about everything hot on love and marriage. Both Huntsville, DC, and Detroit. So firstly, we're going to start off with I don't know whether you heard about the fact that Harlow's kind of shaded Melody.
Mm.
He kind of said that um there would not be Melody if not because of Martel. He's insinuated that Melody was nothing if not Martel. That was what he kind of insinuated. And it literally pissed me off. Like he was like, um when she came up to pitch the idea for Love of Marriage Huntsville, um he was the one that drove her, and I was like, of course he was going to drive her because he was the husband. Then that was his duty to drive her to wherever she wanted to go to. So what's the nonsense he's spilling that without Martel, Melody would have been nothing? Like, get a grip. Get a grip. That didn't make sense at all, him saying that. I found it very, like, I found it very disgusting. I don't understand why he keeps on supporting this guy. I don't know what Martel has over him, or because he needs to explain, because he went on a image tour with this guy
Mhm.
trying to create a good image for him. I've literally not seen any producer of a show or a host of a show do that. We know Andy is one of the big hosts of a big brand. We have never seen Andy trying to clean up the image of any particular star or going on a show with them, trying to make them feel like, okay, this is just, you guys are just delusional. This is how this person is. Andy hasn't even done that. I've not seen any other person do that. Carlos is the first person. I don't know what Martel has on him that he literally always, always stands up for Martel, for Martel. And for him to condescend so low to the extent of saying that without without Martel, Melody wouldn't have been who she was. That was really annoying. I don't know if you heard about that during this week.
Yeah, I did. And first off, I want to say, like, Carlo, you need to go sit down in a corner somewhere because if you're not like stabbing in the dark, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're running scared because Melody is the show. She's the show. She's the star. Okay? She has star qualities. You've seen that in the interview. And as far as where she is now, what God has for her is for her. You know what I'm saying? Whether she was with a mate or not, it was still going to be for her. Get it through your head. You know, but she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She got her own little swagger, you know, and you can't knock her. You know what I'm saying? And if you're her ex-mate, she has your children, why do you keep knocking the sister? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you want her
Yeah.
to be torn to pieces for your children to see? I don't get Martell. I oh my father, the life of me. Like, stop. You know what I'm saying? Leave this woman alone. Let her live her life. You live your life. You know, God has something in store for you, but you have to be a good servant. You have to be a good steward, you know. And I just don't get it. Whew, I don't know if he secretly wants to be her, you know.
Sometimes I feel I feel like
Yes,
that.
like
And
what?
I and I and I And I feel like Carlos is trying to make Martel the star of the show
For what?
instead of Melody, and he's working so hard. And it's
Wow.
literally annoying. You're trying to make somebody else the star of the show that doesn't have a good reputation for himself.
Right. I
How
mean,
are you going to?
excuse me, but I just want to say this. First, a smart
Yeah.
businessman is going to look at where the ratings are and seeing who's on then. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And you're going to stick to what works, not to what doesn't work. Because that's not by popular demand. No, nobody wants to see all this cheating and it's supposed to be love in marriage, not the downside of love in marriage. Like who wants to be involved with that? So
Exactly.
she was gonna be a star. Let's go back to that. She's a star. She's gonna be a star. There's nothing nobody could do about it because that was God's plan.
Yeah. I literally don't know why they will hate on this beautiful woman. She literally hasn't done anything to anybody. She hasn't
Nothing.
tried to piss anybody off. She's on her lane.
Yeah.
Like
She's in her
she
zone. She's her own vibe. Let her loose. You know what I'm
and the
saying?
fact that she doesn't even care about what they say about her, how they say her, anything they say about her. She's just trying to live her life the best way she thinks she can. But you
Yeah,
take your time, your day and everything, trying to like, okay, I want to bring this young lady. You can't bring someone down that hasn't done anything to you.
yeah. One of God's children.
Yeah. When you,
Listen.
my pastor will say, when you take your time hating on someone, that
Mhm.
time you're taking on hating on someone, trying to plot evil for that person, you would have taken it to do something, resourceful for your own self, to
Right.
get to that standard that that person you're envious of, that person you're jealous of, that person you have animosity for, you would have used the time you are sitting down thinking, sitting down being envious, plotting, planning. You would have used that time and made something of yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I could think of like at least a good 100 things that excuse that telephone ring, but I could have thought of
Yeah.
like at least a good 100 things that he could have put his mind into and started businesses on. You know what I'm saying? That hey, women would have bought for their man. You know what I'm saying? If he would have been
Yeah.
the right man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, he could have
Exactly.
he could have exploded right behind her, whether they were married or not. But he wants to do dirt, and smother her and smear her and drag her. It's like quit tearing her up into little pieces. Yeah, that dude there. That dude there. Quit doing that.
And the
You
fact
know?
is that nobody is absolutely buying what he's selling. You
No,
know,
no,
the
and he
people
might as well
he
give
he
up.
feels he feels like some people are by his side.
Where are
Yes,
they?
of course. Someone told me one time that if everybody should like you have a problem. If everybody should hate you also have a problem. You should
Mhm.
always be in the middle. You have the same amount of like and hate that comes your way. So Melody is living a very perfect life. Everybody mustn't like Melody.
Right.
Neither would I say everybody please like Melody. No, of course there are
You,
gonna be haters.
you know what it is? A lot of women can relate what she's going through, where she came from, where she was, and what happened, and what she's going through. A lot of women around America, you know what I'm saying, can relate to that.
Yeah,
You know, and why bully her if you were supposed to love her? Why cheat on her if you're supposed to love her? You didn't protect her heart, her mind, her soul, her body, because you was laying up with her and then you come laying up with her. So where was your protection? You know what I'm saying? So I quit dragging her. Let her be. You know what I'm saying? And fix
Yeah.
yourself. Fix yourself. Concentrate on you.
Exactly.
No, I don't like seeing ugly stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't like seeing women being dragged. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if they put him on the show full time, I don't think I'm gonna be watching it. So we're gonna have to find something else to talk about on this podcast, girl. Cause
Even if they want to put him full time, what exactly will be his story? Because I'm looking,
I
I
don't
am
know.
looking, I
I
am
don't know.
searching.
You know, I
Literally, he always hides behind his woman. So the only thing he's going to do is probably hide behind Arionne and use her for a storyline and be there. That's the only thing I think they can do. They can sell, like, slap him at the back of Arionne like he always likes hiding at the back of his women. Slap him over there, just like, okay, let's see what the storyline. But the thing is that people will get tired quickly, easily.
but yeah, no, nobody wants to see a man manipulate women. Let's change the name of the show then. Because it ain't all about love and marriage. You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
It just kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth.
exactly. I just hope they don't do that, and I'm also hoping that before it gets to that stage, probably Melody should just like quit the show by herself instead of being embarrassed by them.
Right. Well,
That's
I
what I feel.
I think I've seen something about the show. Might not get picked up for another season or something.
I literally would appreciate if it doesn't get picked up for another season.
Well, I mean, if that's what you're pumping to Black America, and women, we outnumber men anyway. You know what I'm saying? We're the backbone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then a man may be the head, but he needs the neck. We're the neck in order to turn. Can't turn my head without my neck. It'd just be a
Mm-hmm.
head. It'd just be a head, wouldn't it? You see what I'm saying? So without a neck, you don't have a backbone. See? You get me?
Like, yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well,
Yeah.
I I literally I literally hope they don't. I literally hope they don't pick it up if they continue with this same energy.
Yeah, show me some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see no women get dragged, or talk too crazy or feeling like they got to watch how they move because they're not trying to make somebody mad. Like, who are you? God, the president? Dude, you are a mere man. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing, women would feel like that if they were not fearful. 'Cause you got to look at everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
if he's done put hands or walked up too close or hit a couple of walls or like, dude, really, you want your daughters to go through that, right? Because that's exactly what you're teaching them. How to take it, how to take a abuse from a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
I don't think he knows that. People, when people do things, I don't think the reason about the future is just about the fact that at this moment in time I am doing this thing, and I want to gain, I want to get the thing I aim for. They don't care about, oh, what is the impact this is going to be tomorrow? What effect am I going to have? tomorrow.
Right. Well, a real man is supposed to, if you're going to leave a woman, you leave her better than you found her.
Yeah.
That's a real man. You don't leave
Yeah.
her worse than what you found her.
Worse than what you found her. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're one of God's best creations.
Huh?
I said, we are one of God's best creations. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and children. So if God created us. Yes, He created man first, but He created you to be the head and to take care of, not to destroy and put your finger and your thumb all on. Nobody, quit walking over people. Quit
Huh?
walking over women. It ain't cool. Ain't a good look, bruh.
Uh, okay. And I don't know. I don't know whether anybody has noticed that he's always complaining about Melody and a lot of things about Melody. And Melody has been like taking care of these kids. He's always saying, "I'm a good father." That's always what he's bragging about. I'm a good father to my kids. I love my kids. I care for my kids. And I just thought about something, and I think I also saw it somewhere. I haven't seen this guy literally taking or take these kids on vacation since the divorce. I have
Even go ahead.
I haven't heard him say, okay, we went on vacation here. It's always Melody taking them. And how can you say, I'm not trying to be, I understand that he might not be financially, there, but he's trying to claim that he's all right. I'm basing off the fact that he's trying to claim that all is well, all is good. He's nice. He's living his life. He's still enjoying what he was enjoying when he was with Melody. He still has the money, you know that's what I'm basing it off. The pride he always posts online, he always comes out to exhibit. Why haven't you taken any of those kids that you claim, oh, this, you so much love these kids? Well, we don't see that.
He probably loves his kids as most fathers do. And I'm not going to say that he doesn't because of a vacation. It's the
Yeah.
time that you put in. You know what I'm saying? And part of that, again, goes back to the mom. You have to respect the mom because kids pick up on how their mother's feeling. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon they're not going to want to be around you because how you make their mama feel. You know? And another
Yeah.
thing, um, you know, even if he was just doing small things, like movie night or, hey, let's go in the backyard and take some popcorn and get one of those big old projection screens and, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Easy things. Get some pinball machines. Let them play with that kind of stuff. Get some paint. Let them paint pictures. You know what I'm saying? Kids are
Yeah.
easy. Get one of those machines where you can blow up balloons and you got to just blow up a bunch of balloons in the house. You know what I'm saying? Put up some tents and
Yeah.
have like a little sleep over everybody, all the kids. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff. That don't cost money. Take them to the park. You know, easy stuff that don't cost money. Take them to the library. You know,
But I don't
take them
think
to
he
go
really.
take them to go buy books. I used to take my kids to go buy books and they loved it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
simple stuff. Kids are
but I
simple.
don't think I don't think he thinks like that.
Well, maybe he
He
needs to start.
Exactly. He needs to start.
Yeah,
He literally needs to start.
yeah,
He does need to start thinking like that.
yeah.
He sometimes I look at him and he sometimes looks he looks to me like a very slow person.
he's more. I believe he's more into his appearance than playing the role of his appearance than being a responsible adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Ex- exactly. That's the way I see it. Like,
Yeah.
mm,
It's like I don't get it, dude. Like you were blessed again because of Melody. She was the brains, you were the brawn. And usually in a successful marriage, that's what it takes. Somebody has to have the brains, and somebody has to have the muscle. Okay? So use your noggin and come up with ideas so you can leave Melody alone.
yeah. Well, I think that he will still keep on being this jealous as far as Melody keeps on being prosperous and making her own wave and living her life, and him realizing that
Mhm.
she would not need him again. That need in his life is gone.
Yeah, but
She
hey, go ahead.
she doesn't need him anymore in his life. He's gone, dusted off, forgotten, and I think that's also upsetting.
Right. I mean, be obsessed as you may, but you got to understand life is like a book. We have many chapters, and sometimes it's time to turn the page of that last chapter and go to the next chapter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because you never know what's in that chapter. Be the author of your chapter. Don't let nobody else write your story. You know what I'm saying? So move
Yeah.
on. Life goes on. People get old, they get gray hair, they start partying, and they become grandparents.
Mhm.
Hey, life goes on. Move on.
Yeah.
So easy. Wow. I've never seen, I mean, I've seen it, but in 2023, wow, I feel so sorry for these girls. You know what I'm saying?
And and the way that he was hounding his mom for the custody case for next week's episode, for this week's episode of Love Marriage Huntsville, it just cemented the fact that this guy is so delusional, and he thinks that he is what he is. Like, even your mom knows the right thing, that you were wrong.
Right. Well, first off, why you make it sound like you buying your mama talking about, well, I be buying her things, and you know and she know what she's supposed to do. Well, what's she supposed to do besides be your mother? Like, really? She ain't your woman. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not doing it out the goodness of your heart, then don't do it. Why does it have to be a motive behind when you do something nice? I don't like people like that. you know See, that's why I buy my own shit. You know, so
And the fact
I'm not gonna give you
the,
a
the,
chance.
the fact that, and also reason another thing, Martell is always handling Melody's family, saying her family is not nice, her family isn't good. When I literally don't like coming for people's family. I don't like talking about history and families, but I believe that if you before you pick a stone from somebody else's eyes, you should pick up the stone from your own eyes. So if
Mhm.
you know your own family is not that great, you
Right.
shouldn't be coming for Melody's family. You shouldn't be saying things about her family members. He had no right. When I found out that his brother
Mhm.
was wanted,
Yeah.
I was like, And you, this shame they don't have in this family, and you have the guts. You know
Mm,
this your brother is an unrepentant criminal,
mhm,
and you decided that, oh, the next thing I was gonna do was to bring him on the show.
mm.
Why would you ever think that bringing him on Love and Marriage Huntsville was the was a good idea?
Yeah.
And now, after bringing him out on Love and Marriage Huntsville, people that started finding out that he was wanted, or although he has been caught, but he was wanted for a crime. And I'm like, instead of you, before you bring out your family dynamic on national TV, why don't you try to settle the issues you have? Why don't you try to resolve the problems you have before you even bring it out on national TV? It
Right.
didn't make sense for me that he would be bringing his brother to the show when he knows that he doesn't have his life put together. That is another thing that people will talk crap about him for.
Right.
It wasn't fair on him, neither was it fair on his mom, neither was it fair on his brother. But because of what I feel like the selfishness of Martel, I say is because of his selfishness, because he had nothing. His brother, what did the brother even add to the show? Nothing. Watching that episode last week, there was nothing, no value, no interest. Absolutely kept on thinking myself, asking myself, why was this guy on this episode of no value? Or you just wanted us to show you wanted to show your brother off, and now your brother was now a center of entertainment for people, and an insult that could have been avoided if you just knew that there are some certain things you don't bring on TV just because you want people, because you're selfish and because you want people to feel like you have a storyline. If you don't have a storyline to tell, don't be on the show. Simple.
Yeah.
Don't be on the show rather than coming and embarrassing your family. I hate when people come and embarrass your family. Like, that's why I didn't like Stormi the way she treated her family on that episode. But this one is even worse. Now
Yeah.
you're, even if your brother comes out of prison or of jail, or he's acquitted of the crime that they say he committed or is he's guilty of, he comes out and he sees this
Yeah.
emotionally, it is traumatic.
I would have been pretty embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna say that, hey, I don't have family members, who have served time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But me personally, if you're not adding value to yourself, then I can't bring you on live TV. Because I don't know if you're a wild card, you're a wild card. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? This ain't the show for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I didn't understand that, and I don't know why his brother's carrying weapons. I don't know what all that's about, but yeah, it wasn't a bright idea. It wasn't one of your best ideas. Carlos, because Carlos has the final say so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
was
wasn't it wasn't too smart.
Carlos never has any bright ideas. He
Yeah,
never does have any bright ideas.
yeah. And as far as Stormy's mom and aunt, like, we didn't need to see all that. You know, two strong black women, just and elderly women. Well, I can't even see. They look like they could be maybe a little older than my older brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? So for them to be arguing like that as sisters, I would never talk to one of my sisters like that ever. I don't care how upset I am, but I would never do that to one of my sisters. And then on TV, nah. Mm-mm. Nope. You know, anything, I learned how to use my words and talk to them, you know, and let them know I'm feeling a certain kind of way, you know, or, you know, if I was the older sister, I would have been more understanding. Listen before you speak, you know, because all that foul shit that was coming out of her mouth wasn't cool, you know. So I didn't care for that.
Like, it's I feel bad for him and I wish him well because this is not what I would expect to come and see after I come out from prison or from jail or from acquitted of or from being acquitted from, whatever crime he's accused of. This was not what I would have wanted. Now moving on to um Maurice.
Mhm.
Maurice, Kimmy, and the situation. Ah, man, this topic, the interview he had with Carlos, this
Mhm.
interview speaks volume. And firstly, I want to point out the amount of time that Carlos pointed that I don't know whether you watched the interview. The amount of time that Carlos pointed out that, oh, you guys are straight black men. And I'm like, I know you were gay. Stop it. Sometimes because you're gay doesn't give you the right to act a certain way or do certain things you want to do. It didn't make sense to me that it will bring up Maurice on the show, allow him to say what those nonsense he says, and then bring him up to his podcast and also allow him say the trash. Did you hear the part where he said that, when they talked about the sex part, and Maurice said, if how he felt was that if Kimmy was, faking during those times, he appreciated it because she was also sacrificing in the relationship because he too had to sacrifice when he was taking care of her during her cancer time. And I was like, I didn't remember when was all that was about. That because you sacrificed for me, then I must do your own. I must also sacrifice in your own way. I never knew that that was what marriage was all about. When he said that, I literally had to pause the life and was like,
Yeah,
what
you
was
know,
that?
there's an old saying, fair exchange ain't no robbery. Have you ever heard that? A fair
No.
exchange, then there's no robbery. A fair exchange ain't no robbery. But that shouldn't be in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't have to fake. You should have enough sense to wait. You know what I'm saying? Curb your appetite on that. Pray. Do something else. Go work out. You know what I'm saying? Not, hey, when you know she's not feeling good, because don't nobody know how it feel to have cancer till you have it. Don't nobody know what it feels like to have chemo till you have it. You know, and radiation until you have it. You know what I'm saying? You may
Yeah.
look good on the outside, but your insides are going through hell. You know? So yeah, that wasn't cool. I didn't appreciate that. I was like, oh, what a dog. You know? Like just oh, no, no compassion. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't remember that part being.
Absolutely.
I don't remember that being in the vows. I thought it was sickness and health. You know, I'm gonna love
Eh,
you through sickness, not I'm gonna love you through sickness. Like, dude, what's wrong with you? The girl's in pain. She's hurt. Let her heal, you know? So I just, I, I didn't like that at all. I was offended. I was offended as a woman, you know? It just kind of made me look at him even more in a different way. So I'm over here keeping score under their names of how they're pissing me off. Yeah, I am.
Oh, uh, it's that the interview was literally the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it was the most annoying thing for him to say it was a privilege that your wife went through chemo. She literally doesn't feel attractive, and you say it was a privilege for her to fake the orgasms because she loves you and relationship. And I find it offensive when people kind of place the laws of marriage in a way that suits them.
right,
We understand that marriage is supposed to be where you accommodate, you try to, understand your partner, try to be accommodating, trying to compromise in some certain ways. Yes, marriage is about supposed to be compromising. But for you to condescend to that extent where somebody is in a very terrible, like cancer, some people don't survive cancer,
right, right,
and she survived the cancer, and she's in therapy, she's in chemotherapy, she doesn't feel herself, she's stressed out, she's tired, she doesn't feel sexy, and she's trying to like satisfy you because she knows that if you don't do that, there's every assurance that you're just gonna head out the door and get down with another lady. And she's trying to say, okay, fine, at least let me satisfy my man. Let it not be that for her to even get to the extent of thinking, saying, oh, let me not go, let me do this so as for him not to go to another man, is like an insult, because having that thought alone shows there's a very big crack in the relationship.
right.
I am
Go
if,
ahead.
if I am so sick and so down, the last thing that should be on my mind is, oh my God, how should I satisfy my husband? That's the last thing that should be on my mind.
Well, you don't want sex to be like a chore. First off, you know what I'm saying? If it's a chore, it's not enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? So, you got to let her body and her mind and her heart and her soul heal first. You have to nurture that. You know what I'm saying? So, I, I just, when I was offended. Seriously, I was like the galls of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare him? You know,
Yeah.
like,
The,
and
the,
then he
he
says he has to do it twice a day. Like, boy, are you for real? Like, who are you, a rabbit? Dog in heat, like twice a day. Yeah, he's a chore.
and the fact that he has a teenage son who he's trying to be like, okay, I want to teach some lessons, and you hear you yourself say these kind of things. How do you expect your child to be any better?
Yeah, yeah,
There, there is absolutely no way that your child will be any better than you. You say the things that come out from your mouth are very vile and very stupid sometimes.
right. Well, you heard when Carlos asked him, "What about the chores?" And he was like, he kind of chuckled that away because he don't want his son doing chores. You know what I'm saying? He wants,
Yeah.
and then he said something about we have did he say a maid?
Yeah, we haven't made that comes in sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen no maid on the show. I mean, I haven't. You
I
know, but
haven't.
then
I myself, when he said they were maids, I said I haven't, like it was like I haven't seen any maid myself.
yeah,
I haven't seen any maid. So if they were made, maybe imaginary ones.
maybe he's talking about Kimmy.
Oh,
We got a maid.
oh my God.
Yeah, you
Hi,
know what I'm
Melanie said
saying?
energy. Melanie said energy said, I don't blame Maurice or Marsau because both Kimmy and Tisha will blame you for speaking up for them.
Of course, of course. And like hey, I don't blame these guys. I blame the women. Because they're the ones who's not putting their foot down. They're not saying what their needs are and what their demands are. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So yeah, of course I blame them. You know, a man will only treat you how you let him treat you.
Yeah. She also said Maurice thinks Kimmy is a toilet and a book.
Oh wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, that's exactly. He only thinks like that. Like if your mind is on sex when someone is literally very sick and you know that is a serious situation, you don't rate that person because I don't even think that he should have been thinking about sex. He because the fear of you losing your wife and all those things would have taken away the sex drive in so long.
Right.
So he's still having such libido there. That already shows me that this guy did not like or doesn't in short, um he doesn't like. I won't say he's not in love, but I don't think he even liked her enough to even fall in love with Kimmy. I think it's just there because she took him up from situations that he was. If not because of Kimmy, he wouldn't have a house, he wouldn't have a roof on his head. You know, those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. She added volume to his life.
And yeah, she added volume to his name. She added quality to his name.
Exactly.
He's standing there in of Kimmy. We wouldn't know Maurice, or he would have still been on the street. Who knows? Or in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah. Who knows? You know.
Exactly.
I mean, are all the husbands in Huntsville like this?
Ah,
Because they're giving them a bad name. You know,
I'm telling you.
I,
None
I,
of the
man,
cast,
I'm
none
telling
of
you,
the cast and their husbands is shedding light on the real value of being a good husband in Huntsville.
no, like
None.
I'm just wondering, it's like all the men like that out there. I hope not. Because I, I would say let's check the water. You know, something's going on. You know what I'm saying? Or is it that the mentality of the men back east? You
Uh,
know, I, I don't know. But I wish they stand up. You know,
I went to a Facebook group I usually get like gist from, and someone posted it saying, I will marry you if you cater to me and my son. Just know that you will clean, wash, prepare food daily. Also, regardless of sickness and health, you will spread it wide whenever I want it. Sound. When
wow.
I saw this post, I was like, I needed to like bring it up here because that is just the situation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their whole situation. I'm
Yeah,
going to bring myself and my son, irrespective of what you think.
yeah. That kind of sounds like a slave, don't it? Like to be married, you got to be a slave. I don't get it. It's almost hysterical. Like, what the fuck?
Isn't she? Isn't she a slave? You have cancer and you're washing up, you're cleaning up, you're doing chores, and you know she's the only one in the house. This guy is no longer there. Her son,
Mhm.
what's his name?
You talking
Um,
about monster?
not
Oh,
Monster.
her son.
My
Her son. Ah,
Kimmy's son herself.
I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah, his name is not on top of my head. He's no longer there in the house, so it's basically um Maurice,
Um,
Kimmy, and
Jalen,
Monster.
was his name Jalen?
Yeah, Jalen.
Okay, okay, yeah. They were kind of tough on him, and I understand because they wanted him to uh, get out there and experience the real world and, you know, be involved, with taking care of yourself. I understood those guidelines that they set for him. Now set the same for Monster. At first, it got to start in the house. If he ever gonna live on his own, like who the hell gonna go over there and clean up for him, Kimmy? He got to learn how to clean up. That's part of being a responsible young man. You got to know how to take care of yourself. You got to know how to sew a button on a shirt. Yeah, sew a hole in a sock if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Make you something to eat other than a sandwich. Yeah, you got to learn how to take care of yourself, and the home that you're going to have by yourself one day. So I don't get why certain rules apply to one kid that ain't going to apply to the other one. And I understand that all kids aren't the same, but damn, like give him some real guidelines here.
Exactly. I feel bad for Kimmy, so I always try to feel bad for her, although I really don't feel bad for her because
Mm-hmm.
of she put herself. I feel like she put herself in that situation, but I
Yeah.
still feel bad for her, considering the fact that she is sick. If not for anything, you should respect her feelings
Right. Exactly. But we see that that's not happening.
at all.
Mm-mm.
That's not happening at all. He doesn't rate her, he doesn't respect her feelings.
No. And then maybe we'll see one day her just letting him have it because she needs to at least one time.
Melita Energy said, please don't feel bad for Kimmy. Oh, I shouldn't feel bad for Kimmy. Oh, I would try not to feel bad for her. I would try not to feel bad for her at all. Now, there's something I wanted to talk about, and that was Latisha. This is Leticia now, and she posted this on her story. She said, like this week, she said, marriage is work, marriage is responsibility, marriage is patience, marriage is sacrifice, marriage is forgiveness. What do you have to say about this? Because for me, I felt like it was unnecessary. Like
Well,
you,
that's like her little philosophy. And yeah, marriage is work, and marriage is responsibility and all that, but that's a two-way street. Nobody's married to themselves, you know?
Mhm.
And hey, marriage is supposed to be 50-50. But one thing my dad always said, if you're with somebody and they're not paying everything, what do you need them for? And that's the truth, because you can be broke by yourself, you could be hungry by yourself, you could be homeless by yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's a
Yeah,
man's responsibility, is to pay everything. And what a woman makes on her own, that's hers. To do little extra stuff around the house, or for herself, or for you, or for the kids, or you know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
I don't get it, and I don't get Leticia's marriage either. Maybe it's not for me to get, but I just feel like she's getting the short end of the stick.
And she kind of was laughing at the situation of Maurice and Kimmy. Um, she this was going on, and somebody she posted something earlier on and trying to like mock, like I think 3 days or how many days ago, trying to mock the situation of I don't think she was mocking, but the laughter she put on her comment section was like it's a mockery, like you're trying to mock the situation they are in. And people were literally pissed off by what she was doing, and came for her on the comment section. So this lady said, what's funny, he and his brothers are embarrassing. If their father is an uptight gentleman who did his best to rear men, he must be embarrassed because they act like immature boys, selfish and insensitive.
True. True. And she doesn't have no room to be like laughing at nobody's marriage. Like, girl, get your dude together, because he is like male chauvinist. He's like, he's sneaky. First off, he is fucking sneaky. He's slick as snot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he seemed like he always doing some shady shit behind her back. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then make her think, oh, you're crazy. That wasn't me, or that's not my back. You know. Oh, see, girl.
Like people were really coming for her on the comment section. This comment also said, "You do things like this, then cry about how social media bullies you, but really, what's funny, sis?"
Mm,
Then this one also said, "I really root for you, but I'm disgusted and disappointed that you find this narcissism amusing. I really wish you would have sat this comment out."
mm-hmm.
Because what is the laughter about? Like, what's funny about the situation that you are laughing out?
Yeah.
What's funny about the situation? Because it's not a funny situation.
No.
It isn't.
No.
Your in-law is going through something that is not supposed to be like that in a normal set of marriage, and you are laughing over it. What are you laughing at? The fact that Maurice said he say is final in the house, that he's being a narcissist, which your husband is also saying he say is final. They're
Mm.
literally the same thing. Maurice said in the interview that my say is final in the house.
That.
We've literally heard so many times when Marsau also said the same thing, that he says the final. So they're like the same.
Yeah, the nerves. You know, it's supposed to be collaborated between the two of you to talk out. You know, it's
I'm
not.
telling you.
It's not up for debate. That's something that needs to be talked out between two people. You know, so
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. I kind of chuckled at it. It was funny.
It's really funny because it's not necessary. We know your own marriages. We don't just want to talk about your marriage because you come online, you be like, nobody knows about my marriage, nobody knows, because we don't want to put it out there. We don't want to be out front. But you're literally laughing over what is not supposed to be laughed about.
Mm-hmm. True.
And the fact that this person is your family. Like I said it, I think that was when I think I talked about it during when I was having a talk about Miss Wanda. I think there's a video of mine I talked about Miss Wanda. I
Mm-hmm.
said that family don't have loyalty.
Mm. Yeah.
They don't have loyalty to themselves. They
Mm-hmm.
can literally throw each other under the bus.
Oh yeah, all the time, all
They
the time.
don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why would I want to be happy to be in a family that will literally there's a probability or possibility of them
Mhm.
throwing me under the box?
Right. Well, Like that's not cool when you throw your family under the bus. If you have nothing nice to say, why are you saying it on TV? You
If
know,
you don't have
and,
it,
and if you're gonna address a situation on TV, learn how to use your words and talk through it. You know, you don't have to curse, you don't have to scream. You know, a person that curses and screams to me is a person who doesn't have an original thought in their head. You know, they don't know how to articulate their words to get their point across. You know, so I don't like yelling. I don't like screaming. You know, because all that does is kind of picks at me. You know, and then that becomes a huger situation because you're enraged and now I'm enraged. You know, so you know when you're dealing with somebody, a family member, it's best to try and use your words, you know, to deal with any type of situation. You know, then that way we're clear on whatever the subject is.
exactly. Like, I'm so tired of all the shit, and I just wish that it will get better. I don't know whether they're gonna go on the second half of this season. Normally, we know by this time they're supposed to be on the second half of the season, but I don't understand why we're still having more episodes of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Because if they continue like this, when would they be able to show Love and Marriage, the second part of Love and Marriage DC?
Yeah, are they coming back on?
Yeah, I think they finished shooting the second part of
Oh,
Love and Marriage DC. They
oh,
they said they finished the shooting for the second part of the show, but I'm looking like we're still they are airing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Love and Marriage Detroit. I literally did think they were gonna go on break on a short on the half
oh,
break they usually go so
on
as to air
hiatus.
only Love and Marriage Detroit, then also bring back Love and Marriage DC. Well, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Carlos is doing. I don't know what's on his mind.
I don't know, but we could come up with a better show than that. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people out here that are doing real things and they're not arguing, they're not cheating, they're not cursing out their mamas, and their mamas ain't fighting their sisters. You know, it's just like,
Yeah,
it's just chaos, you know. And if that's what Carlos feels, that's what love and marriage is, Carlos, you have probably never been in love and you've probably never married. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
that's not what love and marriage is. You know, yeah, you're going to have issues, you're going to have problems, you know, but hey, show people how to work through that shit. You know, now, hey, I'm going to get upset because you're not giving me enough sex, so I'm going to go out and cheat. Like, that's, we know that happens already. We already know. Show us some stuff we haven't seen. You know, I'm not saying life is a fairy tale or a storybook, you know, but show us the real grit. Show us how people are getting down, how they out there going to work, how they made their companies, you know, what they do to stay inspired every day. You know what I'm saying? What do they do in their free time when they're just chilling? You know what I'm saying? How
yeah,
do they go about handling situations that may come up within the family? You know, to teach us some stuff like that. You know, because I've seen all the mamas screaming, and hollering, and cursing. You know, that's life. That's all around me. But I would like to like use the television to see something better that I know is out there. You know, create
yeah.
some good content. You
Exactly.
know,
I would.
something
Oh,
that's empowering women. Something that's empowering women. You know, he says he loves being with women. Carlos said he loves hanging out and chilling with girls, hanging out with the women and stuff, because he feels so close to, you know, uh the the opposite sex than he actually is. Fine, cool. But like, build sisters up. Show stuff that's gonna be enlightening, you know, all in light and love, you know. That's all I'm
I
saying.
just, I
You know,
just hope he, I just hope he can start doing that. I
yeah,
really hope because I want things to get better.
yeah. Every show but different people. It's like the same game, different players. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Everybody is cheating. Everybody's having problems. Everybody don't know how to communicate. Like, dang, who want to get married then? You know,
Oh,
like don't make marriage look like slavery. Free my
yeah.
sisters. Free my sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because marriage
I
ain't
just,
about
I just,
slavery.
I literally,
No,
I literally hope they get better. Oh,
me too.
guys, you want to say something?
No, I said me too.
Okay. So, do you have any final thing to say? Because we'll be rounding up now.
Well, let's just hope that the next viewings of Love in Huntsville gets better. You know, I just know that in the back of my mind it's going to be same twist, different plot. You know, and
Yeah.
more disrespect to the female. To the woman. You know, and more conniving, and as far as DC, no, Detroit, Hunts, Love and Marriage Detroit, I just want to look like this. When I look, I'm gonna be doing like this to the
Ah,
TV. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be some nonsense, you know, and a bunch of
yeah,
hurt feelings. Why? I don't get it. If you don't want to be married, just say so. That easy.
exactly.
That
I,
easy.
I just hope it gets better. Oh, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Those that were, chatting up with us, by Later Energy, thank you for joining us and, being on our comment section. Thank you for those that watched our videos. Thank you for those that liked and commented. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and comment. And we'll see you guys
All right. Bye
next
bye.
time. Bye.